Problem 2 on composite wall. A composite wall is as shown in figure below. So it consists of a composite wall made up of material having thermal conductivity K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, K6, K7, where the second material is made up of second wall is made up of three different materials, and third wall or slab is made up of two different materials, and this composite wall is separating hot and cold fluid, and heat transfer will take place from hot fluid through the composite wall into the cold fluid. So it is a typical problem of heat transfer through composite wall by combined mode of heat transfer, conduction and convection. From hot fluid to the surface of the wall by convection, through the different solid slabs by conduction, and from the slab, yellow slab, to the cold fluid by convection. The temperature of hot and cold fluid is 600 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius respectively. The inside and outside convective heat transfer coefficients are 500 and 200 watt per meter square Kelvin respectively. The thickness of different layers are L1 is equal to 40 centimeter, L2 is equal to 30 centimeter, L3 is equal to 25 centimeter, and L4 is equal to 10 centimeter. The thermal conductivities of different layers are K1 is equal to 0.02 watt per meter Kelvin, K3 is equal to 0.3 watt per meter Kelvin, K2 is equal to 0.5 watt per meter Kelvin, K4 is equal to 0.4 watt per meter Kelvin, K5 is equal to 4 watt per meter Kelvin, K6 is equal to 2 watt per meter Kelvin, and K7 is equal to 10 watt per meter Kelvin. The wall heights for middle layers are A is equal to 2 meter, B is equal to 3 meter, C is equal to 2 meter. The depth or width of the wall is 10 meter. So find number 1, draw thermal circuit of the composite wall structure. Number 2, find individual resistances. Number 3, find total resistance. 4, find heat loss through composite structure. Fifth one, find capital T1 and T5 temperatures. And sixth, find T2, T3 and T4 temperatures also. This problem was asked in winter 19 for 4 marks. So let us solve this problem. So first let us draw the schematic of this problem. So I have already drawn the 3D view of the composite wall shown in the problem. These are the 4 slabs of the composite wall, where slab 2 is made up of 3 different materials represented by the distance A, B, C, and height of, and fourth wall is made up of 2 different materials having their height D. So both are of same height. Let's say thickness of the first slab is L1, thickness of second slab L2, thickness of third slab L3, and thickness of fourth slab L4 respectively. L1, L2, L3, L4 are nothing but length of path flow in the direction of heat flow. Let's say height of this slab is capital H, Width of this slab is, width or depth is W. The fluid shown in the red color represents hot fluid, and it is represented by hot fluid film. This is cold fluid film. Let's say convective heat transfer coefficient of hot fluid is represented by H infinity I, and its temperature is by T infinity I. Convective heat transfer coefficient of cold fluid is H infinity O, and temperature by T infinity O. Then thermal conductivity of first slab is represented by K1. Thermal conductivity of this slab is represented by K2, K3 and K4 respectively. Then thermal conductivity of the green slab is represented by K5, of blue slab by K6 and of yellow slab by K7. In this, A is the height of the material having thermal conductivity K2, B is the height of the material having thermal conductivity K3, and C is the height of the material having thermal conductivity K4, and D is the height of material shown by green color and blue color. Let's say temperature of this slab, temperature of this hot fluid is represented by T infinity I. Temperature of the left face of this slab is already denoted. It is T1. Let's say temperature at the interface is T2, which is not shown. So I am assuming temperature of this interface is T3. Temperature of this interface is T4, and temperature of this yellow interface, right hand face of the yellow slab is given by T5, and finally temperature of the cold fluid is T infinity. Now it is given in the problem T infinity I is greater than T infinity O. So heat transfer will take place from hot fluid to the cold fluid. And let's say the rate of heat transfer is Q. Now when heat transfer takes place through individual layers of hot and cold fluid and different slab materials, they offer thermal resistance to the path of the heat flow. Fluids will be by convection and solid slab will be by conduction. So temperature drop will take place across the fluid layer from temperature T infinity I to T1. Similarly from T1 to T2, then from T2 to T3, then from T3 to T4, then from T4 to T5, then from T5 to fluid outer temperature. So this will be a linear profile. Because temperature profile in case of plain slab is linear, so it will be represented by straight line. So this is temperature profile for the entire system. Let me represent these temperatures also by capital T. Just to maintain the homogeneity. So T infinity I, this is T infinity O, and this will be T infinity O, and this will be T infinity I. So with this, I could represent all the important parameters which are going to affect heat transfer rate for the given system. All the thickness, depth of the wall, temperatures, and convective heat transfer coefficient. Now let us draw the electrical equivalent circuit. So since the electrical circuit is the part of the objective, so I will not draw here itself. I will draw the equivalent electrical circuit rather as a part of the solution. So next step is to enlist all the given things. The values of different parameters are given. So let us start from temperatures and heat transfer coefficients. So T infinity I, T infinity I, that is hot fluid temperature, is given as 600 degrees Celsius. Cold fluid temperature is given as 25 degrees Celsius. Convective heat transfer coefficient of hot fluid is given as 500 watt per meter square Kelvin. Convective heat transfer coefficient of cold fluid is given as 200 watt per meter square Kelvin. Then value of L1 is given as 40 centimeter. This is not SI unit, so I will immediately convert it into meter. L2 is given as 30 centimeter, 0.3 meter. L3 as 25 centimeter, 0.25 meter. L4 as 10 centimeter, 0.1 meter. Then apart from this, value of K1 is given as 0.0 watt per meter Kelvin. K2 as 0.5 watt per meter Kelvin. K3 as 0.3, K4 as 0.4. K4 as 0.4 watt per meter Kelvin. K5 as 5, K5 is 4 watt per meter Kelvin. K6 as 2 watt per meter Kelvin, and K7 as 10 watt per meter Kelvin. Let me check these values. K7 is 10, K4 4, K4 is 4, K5 is 4, K6 is 2. Okay, so values are correct. Then value of the height of different materials are given, where A is equal to 2 meter, B is equal to 3 meter, and C is equal to 2 meter, and width or depth of the wall is given as 10 meter. A is 2, B is 3, C is 2. Now the height of the slab will be summation of A plus B plus C is equal to 2 plus 3 plus 2 is equal to 7 meter. And from symmetry, as you can see, small d is the half of the h. So from symmetry of the problem, d is nothing but h by 2. That is 7 over 2 is equal to 3.5 meter. So all the values I could sum up from the problem statement. So let me check anything I missed out. We could sum up all the convective heat transfer coefficients, thickness, thermal conductivities, height, width. Okay, so all of the things I could sum up in, or I could enlist as given. Then the third step is assumption. Assumptions involved in this problem. So the very first assumption, we are talking about one-dimensional steady state heat transfer. Again, I won't say conduction because here convection is also involved. One-dimensional steady state heat transfer. Number two, now the composite wall is made up of different materials which are in contact with each other. If that contact is not perfect, thermal contact resistance may come into picture. So the problem does not talk anything about thermal contact resistance. So we are going to neglect no or negligible thermal contact resistance. Number three, I am not going to consider any heat generation within the wall Number 4, homogeneous and isotropic material of each layer of solid slab we can also in the similar tune we can also assume constant properties of fluid. What will be consequence of assumption number 4 and 5? If I am assuming homogeneous and isotropic material of each slab, thermal conductivity will be same. For example, if the slab 1 is homogeneous and isotropic material, the K1 will be same everywhere. Similarly for K2, K3, K4 and so on so forth. Thermal conductivity will remain constant. Similarly, if I assume constant properties of fluid, that means value of heat transfer coefficient will be same for the hot fluid as well as cold fluid. So these are the important assumptions involved. Now let us enlist what is to be found out. So the very first thing the problem is asking about thermal circuit of the problem, that is equivalent electrical circuit. Number 2, individual resistances. That is resistances provided by hot and cold fluid layer as well as all the slab materials. Then total thermal resistance of the system, summation of RT. Fourth one, it is asking to calculate Q, that is heat transfer rate. Then it is asking to calculate interface surface temperature of left and right material represented by T1, T5. Then finally, the problem is asking to calculate interface temperatures T2, T3 and T4. So I could enlist what are the parameters to be found out. So it will be a summon to my mind as these are the parameters to be calculated. So what formula or procedure I have to adopt. Then finally, calculations or solution. So the very first part or very first solution of this problem is we have to draw thermal circuit or equivalent electrical circuit. So the flow quantity once again will be Q, and first thermal resistance will be offered by this hot fluid film between temperature T infinity I and T1 by convection. T infinity I T1. and the thermal resistance will be represented by RT infinity I. Second, thermal resistance will be offered by the first slab material between temperature T1 and T2 by conduction, and it will be represented by RT1. Third, thermal resistance will be offered by second slab material made up of three different materials. Please refer the diagram, and thermal resistance will be RT2. It will be by conduction. Fourth, thermal resistance will be offered between temperatures T3 and T4 by the slab made up of these two different materials. I am talking about this, and again it will be by conduction. So let's say, oh, extremely sorry. Now, in case of second slab, which is made up of three different materials, so each of the slab will offer thermal resistance to the path of the heat flow. So there will be three different thermal resistances, and their effect will be counted by considering they are arranged in parallel. So between temperatures T2 and T3, the slab is made up of three different materials. So three different individual thermal resistances will come into picture. Let's say first one will be represented by RTA, second one will be represented by RTB, and third will be represented by RTC. And these three will be supposed to connected in parallel between temperatures T2 and T3. Likewise, the third slab is made up of two different materials. So they are again going to offer individual thermal resistances, and their effect will be taken into account by assuming them connected in parallel. So between T3 and T4, there will be two thermal resistances, RTD and RTD. So let's say I represent RTD 1 and RTD 2 between temperatures T3 and T4. And finally, the fourth slab is made up of single layer. So it is going to offer only single thermal resistance, and it is represented by RT4. And the last thermal resistance will be by cold fluid between temperatures T5 and T infinity O, and it will be represented by RT infinity O, and finally heat will come out. So as you can see here, second slab, there are three individual slabs. So thermal resistances of each slab will be taken into account by considering them to be connected in parallel. Similarly, slab 3 is made up of two different materials. So the equivalent thermal resistances will be taken into account by assuming them to be connected in parallel. Now we can draw one more equivalent electrical circuit. So Q T infinity I T1 R T infinity I then T1 T2 RT1. Now let us say equivalent thermal resistances of RTA, RTB and RTC is represented by RT2 equivalent between temperatures T2 and T3. Similarly, equivalent thermal resistance of RTD1 and RTD2 is represented by RT3 equivalent between temperatures T3 and T4, and next thermal resistance will be RT4, and final thermal resistance will be between T5 and T infinity O, RT infinity O, and Q will come out. So this way I can represent the electrical equivalent circuit or thermal circuit of the given problem. So there will be two thermal resistances by convection and four thermal resistances by conduction. There will be total 6 thermal resistances. As you can see here, 4 slabs will offer 4 thermal resistances by conduction, and 2 fluid layers will offer 2 thermal resistances by convection. So there will be total 6 thermal resistances to the path of the heat flow. So we could solve the first part of this problem. The second part is to calculate individual thermal resistances. So starting from RT infinity I to RT1, RTA, RTB, RTC to RT infinity O, we are supposed to calculate all the thermal resistances. Now to first solve, or now to get the value of RT infinity, RT1 and all the individual thermal resistances, first we should be in position to get the expressions for all these thermal resistances. So for that, let us write down the rate of heat transfer equations. So under steady and one-dimensional heat transfer, I know Q, that is rate of heat transfer, will be same for rate of heat transfer from hot fluid to the left face of the slab equal to rate of heat transfer from left face of the slab to the interface of the first and second slab will be equal to rate of heat transfer from interface of first and second slab to the interface of second and third slab will be equal to rate of heat transfer from interface of second and third slab to the right face of the fourth slab, and finally from rate of heat transfer will be equal to right face of the slab to the cold fluid fill. So there will be total 6 rate of heat transfer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me check. 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Sorry. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Will be equal to Q, Y to O. Out of these 6 rate of heat transfers, once again this will be by convection, because between fluid and solid surface, and these 4 rate of heat transfer will be by conduction. So we can recall Fourier's law of heat conduction, because we are considering heat transfer only in one direction. So I have to write the rate of heat transfer equations for QI1, Q12, Q23, Q34, Q45 and Q50. Now as we can see in this diagram, QI1 is okay, Q12 is okay, but Q23 is the rate of heat transfer through these 3 individual slab material. Similarly, Q34 is the rate of heat transfer through these 2 individual slab materials. So in order to facilitate the writing the equations for rate of heat transfer, I will follow this approach here. So Q will be, it is nothing but in terms of temperature difference, I can write it as T infinity I minus T1 over R T infinity I is equal to T1 minus T2 over RT1. Q23 is the rate of heat transfer through second slab consisting of 3 different slab materials. So I can write the equation of heat transfer as T2 minus T3, and the second slab will have equivalent thermal resistance. Similarly, for third slab T3 minus T4, it is made up of 2 different materials, so it will have the equivalent thermal resistance RT3 equivalent. Fourth slab is made up of single material T4 minus T5, so it will be RT4, and finally the rate of heat transfer equation for fluid layer will be T5 minus T infinity O over RT infinity O. Now why I have adopted this approach? Because it is difficult to write the rate of the equation of rate of heat transfer through the wall made up of 2 or 3 different materials. So to avoid the complexity, I can write the equation of heat transfer rate in this fashion. It reduces lot of complexity of writing the heat transfer rate equation for individual slab materials, of which the particular slab is made up of. So you please follow this approach while writing equation for rate of heat transfer from wall having made up of 3 or 4 or 2 different materials. Now let's say I give this equation as equation number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now it has got some significance because we are going to use these individual expressions later on to find out some parameters which are asked to calculate, isn't it? Now in this equation, RT infinity I is nothing but convective thermal resistance of hot fluid. And how can I calculate the convective heat transfer coefficient? From the previous discussion, it is nothing but 1 upon H over A. So H is H infinity I and area is AI. So this will be 1 over H infinity I into A. Now here AI is the area of the fluid film normal to heat flow. AO is the area of the cold fluid film normal to heat flow will be equal to area of the slab normal to heat flow, isn't it? What is happening if this is the slab and this is the fluid film, whether it is hot or cold? So what will happen? We are going to consider only that area of fluid film which is in contact with the slab. So in this case, AI and AO will be equal to area of the slab normal to heat flow. So do not get confused within AI, AO and A. So now I can calculate RT infinity I. Now I have the values of H infinity 1 over, first let us find out the area H infinity. Now what will be area A? As you can see here, area A will be area of this face, this. So area of this face, and area of this face is nothing but H into W, height of the slab into width or depth of the slab. So from here I can write this area H infinity I into H into W. So 1 over value of H infinity is 500, value of H is 7 and value of width W is 10. So this value comes out 2.86 into 10 to power minus 5 Kelvin per watt. Please check the calculations. Now similarly RT1 is nothing but L1 over RT1 is nothing but conductive thermal resistance of slab 1, and I know the conductive thermal resistance is L over Ka. So for slab 1 it will be L1 over K1A. Once again L1 is given as 0.40. Thermal conductivity of the slab is 0.02 and area is nothing but height into width. You can check from the diagram. So L1 is 0.4 and K1 is 0.02. So after calculation, RT1 will be 0.286 Kelvin per watt. Then RT2 equivalent. Now how to find out this RT2 equivalent? Now in second slab, all the three materials and their individual thermal resistances are supposed to be connected in parallel. So for parallel arrangement, of slabs and their resistances, we have to follow the law of resistances connected in parallel. So 1 over RT2 equivalent will be equal to 1 over RTA plus 1 over RTB plus 1 over RTC. So let us calculate first RTA. Now RTA will be this is very important. RTA will be thickness of this slab, that is L2, into what is the area normal to heat transfer for a slab. This is the area normal to heat transfer for material A, that is this height A into this width W, isn't it? This is very important concept, so let me highlight. Area of this slab A will be this height A into this width W. Similarly, for area normal to heat transfer for material B will be this height B into this width W, and similarly for material C, area normal to heat flow will be this height C into this width W. So for each slab, area normal to heat transfer will be different according to their height and width. So RTA will be thickness of all the materials are same. So I can write it as L2 over K2, its thermal conductivity is represented by K2 into area of material 2A. L2 is nothing but 0.30 meter. Its thermal conductivity or K2 into area can be represented by height A into width W, or this can be 0.30. Thermal conductivity of material A is 0.5 into height A is 2 into width is 10. So this comes out 0.03 Kelvin per watt. Similarly, for RTB, thickness is again same, L2. Its thermal conductivity is represented by K3, and area normal to heat flow will be A2B. L2 over K3, area normal to heat flow will be height B into width W. Thickness is 0.3. Its thermal conductivity is given as 0.3 into height is given as 3 and width is 10. So this value comes out 0.033 Kelvin per watt. Then RTC, its thickness is again L2. Thermal conductivity is represented by K4 into area normal to heat transfer is A to C. L2 over K4, area normal to heat transfer will be given by height C into width W. Once again, its thickness is 0.3. Its thermal conductivity is 0.4. Height is 2. Width is 10. So it can be given as 0.038 Kelvin per watt. This way I can calculate RTC. So equivalent thermal resistance 1 over RT2 equivalent will be 1 upon RT2A, that is 0.03 Kelvin, plus 1 upon RT2B 0.033 Kelvin per watt, plus 1 over 0.038 watt per Kelvin. Mind well, the unit of 1 upon RT2 equivalent will be watt per Kelvin. Now so RT2 equivalent will be 0.0111 Kelvin per watt. Now here, this is the error prone area. Whatever value of 1 over 0.03 plus 1 over 0.033 plus 1 over 0.038 you will get, that will be the value of 1 over RT2 equivalent, and reciprocal of that value will give you RT2 equivalent 0.011 Kelvin per watt. So please take care of this step. Similarly, now third slab material, which is made up of two different materials. So the RT3 equivalent will be RT3 equivalent will be conductive thermal resistance by thermal conductive resistance of third slab. Okay, and it will be given by, once again, two slabs are connected in parallel. So 1 over RT3 equivalent will be 1 over RTD1 plus 1 upon RTD2. Now I have to calculate RTD1 and RTD2. So RTD1 is a conductive thermal resistance of slab having thermal conductivity K5, and its thickness is given by L3. So L3 over K5, and area normal to heat transfer will be AD1. Now how can I calculate area of this slab? Once again, so area of this slab will be this height D into this thickness W. So this is the area normal to heat transfer. This is the height D and this is the width W. So this way I can calculate area for D1 slab and D2 slab. So L3 over K5, area D1 normal to heat flow will be height D into width W. Thickness of the third slab is given as 0.25. Its thermal conductivity is given as 4. Height D we could calculate as 3.5 into width W is equal to 10, and this comes out 1.786 into 10 to power minus 3 Kelvin per watt. Similarly, RTD2 will be equal to K3 over K6 into area D2. Since both the slabs are of same height, so there exists symmetry. So AD1 and AD2 will be same. K6 into D into W. L3 is 0.25. The value of K6 is 2. D is 3.5. Width is 10. The value of RTD2 comes out 3.57 into 10 to power minus 3 Kelvin per watt. Therefore, equivalent thermal resistance of slab 3 will be RT3 equivalent will be equal to 1 over RTD1, that is 1.786 into 10 to power minus 3 plus 1 over 3.57 into 10 to power minus 3, isn't it? And finally, RT3 equivalent, you take the summation of both these two terms and take their reciprocal. So its unit will be watt per Kelvin, and RT3 equivalent will be 1.190 into 10 to power minus 3 Kelvin per watt. Now comes RT4, that is conductive thermal resistance of slab 4, and it can be given as thickness L over K, so L4 over its thermal conductivity K7 into area A. L4 is nothing but 0.10. Let me check the value of L4. L4 is 0.11. K7 value is 10. And area is 7 into 10. So from here, RT4 value I could get as 1.43 into 10 to power minus 4 Kelvin per watt. And the final thermal resistance, that is RT infinity O, is convective thermal resistance of cold fluid, and it is represented by 1 over HA. So in our case, it will be 1 over H infinity O into AO. AO is nothing but area of the slab. So RT infinity O can be given as 1 over 200 into 7 into 10. So this comes out 7.14 into 10 to power minus 5 Kelvin per watt. So in this way, I could calculate values of all the thermal resistances, individual thermal resistances. So this will be answer, this will be our answer, this will be our answer, this will be the answer, and so on, so forth. So point number 2 we have covered. Now point number 3 is total thermal resistance. So total thermal resistance will be summation of RT infinity I plus RT1 plus RT2 equivalent plus RT3 equivalent plus RT4 plus RT infinity O. Let us put the values, all the values. So RT infinity is 2.86 into 10 to power minus 5. Two point 86 into 10 to power minus 5. RT2 equivalent, sorry, RT1 is 0.0, it is 0.286. RT2 equivalent is 0.0111. RT3 equivalent as 1.190 into 10 to power minus 3. RT4 as 1.43 into 10 to power minus 4. And finally, RT infinity O is 7.14 into 10 to power minus 5 Kelvin per watt. So total thermal resistance will be 0.2985 Kelvin per watt. And this is our answer number 3. Then point number 4 is rate of heat transfer Q. So initially I could express, now how to calculate rate of heat transfer. Now here a little bit discussion is required. Here initially I could express heat transfer rate in terms of rate of heat transfer from hot fluid, slab 1, slab 2, slab 3, slab 4 and cold fluid. So I can use either of this rate of heat transfer equation to calculate Q. But what is the problem with these equations? Only T infinity I and T infinity O are known to me. Values of T infinity I and T infinity O are known to me. So I cannot use either of the equation from 1 to 6 to calculate Q. So solution to this problem is that if I am able to represent Q in terms of temperature difference T infinity I and T infinity O, and under that condition the value of thermal resistance will be total thermal resistance. So let us represent. So in order to solve this problem, the equation of rate of heat transfer in terms of known temperatures T infinity I and T infinity O. Under such conditions, the total thermal resistance will be thermal resistance of hot fluid, thermal resistance of slab 1, equivalent thermal resistance of second slab, equivalent thermal resistance of third slab plus thermal resistance of slab 4 and thermal resistance of cold fluid. All these thermal resistances will get add up, or I can also write T infinity I minus T infinity O over summation of RT. So this will make my work easier. T infinity I is 600, T infinity O is 25. The value of thermal resistance, just now I could calculate. See, this is value Kelvin and this its value is Kelvin per watt. So Kelvin will get cancelled. I will get the unit of QSW. So Q will come out 1926.09 watt. This will be the answer. So this way I could calculate Q as well. Now the fifth value we want to calculate as T1 and T5. Now before going into the detail of calculating the value of T1 and T5, I have the known value of Q. I have the known values of temperatures T infinity I and T infinity O. I have the known calculated values of individual thermal resistances. So how to calculate T1 then? Now let us get back to these equations once again. Kindly refer equation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. My aim is to calculate T1. So if I use equation 1, the value of Q is known to me, T infinity I is known to me, RT infinity I value is known to me. So only unknown is T1. So recalling equation 1 is going to help me to calculate the value of T1. Similarly here, equation number 6. Here T infinity O is known to me, RT infinity O is known to me, T5 is to be calculated and value of Q is known to me. So recalling equation 6 is going to help me. So let us solve then this problem to find out the value of T1 and T5. So here I will be writing recalling equation 1. Let us reproduce that equation. Q is equal to T infinity I minus T1 over RT infinity I. The value of Q is 1926.09. Value of T infinity I is 600. Value of T1 is to be calculated and value of RT infinity I is 2.86 into 10 to power minus 5. From here, the value of T1 I could get as 599.94 degrees Celsius. So this will be the answer. Similarly, recalling equation 6. Q is equal to, the equation is T5 minus T infinity O over RT infinity O. The value of K is 1926.09. T5 minus the value of T infinity O is 25, and value of RT to infinity is 7.14 into 10 to power minus 5. From here the value of T5 comes out 25.14 degrees Celsius. So this way we could calculate the value of T1 and T5. And the last objective is to calculate interface temperatures T2, T3 and T4. Now how to calculate them? Again, let us refer to those equations. Now in this equation, T2 is appearing in equation number 2 and 3. So let's say if I use equation number 2, Q is known to me, T1 is known to me, RT1 is known to me, so I can calculate T2. Similarly, after calculating 2, if I refer equation number 3, T2 will be known to me, RT2 equivalent is known to me, I can calculate T3. After calculating T3, if I use equation number 4, T3 will be known to me, T3 equivalent is known to me, I can calculate T4. So that is the advantage of these equations. Writing equations in this form will going to help you to find out the individual temperatures of the slab. That is why I told you always write down the equation number of equations representing rate of heat transfer. Now let us solve one by one. So first, recalling equation 2. Q is equal to T1 minus T2 over RT1. Q1 is 1926.09. The value of T1 I could calculate as 599.94 minus T2, and the value of RT1 is 0.286. Thermal resistance of hot fluid, thermal resistance of slab 1, equivalent thermal resistance of second slab, equivalent thermal resistance of third slab, plus thermal resistance of slab 4 and thermal resistance of cold fluid. All these thermal resistances will get add up, or I can also write T infinity I minus T infinity O over summation of RT. So this will make my work easier. T infinity I is 600, T infinity O is 25. The value of thermal resistance just now I could calculate. See, this is value Kelvin and this its value is Kelvin per watt. So Kelvin will get cancelled. I will get the unit of QSW. So Q will come out 1926.09 watt. This will be the answer. So this way I could calculate Q as well. Now the fifth value we want to calculate as T1 and T5. Now before going into the detail of calculating the value of T1 and T5, I have the known value of Q. I have the known values of temperatures T infinity I and T infinity O. I have the known calculated values of individual thermal resistances. So how to calculate T1 then? Now let us get back to these equations once again. Kindly refer equation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. My aim is to calculate T1. So if I use equation 1, the value of Q is known to me, T infinity I is known to me, RT infinity I value is known to me. So only unknown is T1. So recalling equation 1 is going to help me to calculate the value of T1. Similarly, here equation number 6. Here T infinity O is known to me, RT infinity O is known to me, T5 is to be calculated and value of Q is known to me. So recalling equation 6 is going to help me. So let us solve then this problem to find out the value of T1 and T5. So here I will be writing recalling equation 1. Let us reproduce that equation. Q is equal to T infinity I minus T1 over RT infinity I. The value of Q is 1926.09. Value of T infinity I is 600. Value of T1 is to be calculated and value of RT infinity I is 2.86 into 10 to power minus 5. From here, the value of T1 I could get as 599.94 degrees Celsius. So this will be the answer. Similarly, recalling equation 6. Q is equal to, the equation is T5 minus T infinity O over RT infinity O. The value of K is 1926.09. T5 minus the value of T infinity O is 25 and value of RT to infinity is 7.14 into 10 to power minus 5. From here the value of T5 comes out 25.14 degrees Celsius. So this way we could calculate the value of T1 and T5. And the last objective is to calculate interface temperatures T2, T3 and T4. Now how to calculate them? Again, let us refer to those equations. Now in this equation, T2 is appearing in equation number 2 and 3. So let's say if I use equation number 2, Q is known to me, T1 is known to me, RT1 is known to me, so I can calculate T2. Similarly, after calculating 2, if I refer equation number 3, T2 will be known to me, RT2 equivalent is known to me, I can calculate T3. After calculating T3, if I use equation number 4, T3 will be known to me, T3 equivalent is known to me, I can calculate T4. So that is the advantage of these equations. Writing equations in this form will going to help you to find out the individual temperatures of the slab. That is why I told you always write down the equation number of equations representing rate of heat transfer. Now let us solve one by one. So first, recalling equation 2. Q is equal to T1 minus T2 over RT1. Q1 is 1926.09. The value of T1 I could calculate as 599.94 minus T2, and the value of RT1 is 0.286. T2 will be known to me, RT2 equivalent is known to me, I can calculate T3. After calculating T3, if I use equation number 4, T3 will be known to me, T3 equivalent is known to me, I can calculate T4. So that is the advantage of these equations. Writing equations in this form will going to help you to find out the individual temperatures of the slab. That is why I told you always write down the equation number of equations representing rate of heat transfer. Now let us solve one by one. So first, recalling equation 2. Q is equal to T1 minus T2 over RT1. Q1 is 1926.09. The value of T1 I could calculate as 599.94 minus T2, and the value of RT1 is 0.286 as 599.94 minus T2, and the value of RT1 is 0.286. Value of T2 comes out 49.08 degrees Celsius. So there is a tremendous drop in the temperature at the interface, because so after putting the value of heat transfer rate, temperature T3 and equivalent thermal resistance of slab 3, T4 could be calculated as 25.40 degree Celsius, and this T4 is slightly higher than T5, value, that is 25.14 degrees Celsius. So this way I could calculate T2, T3 and T4. Now let us sum up all the answers. We have a long list of all the variables we could calculate. So the very first value is RT infinity I. I have to refer my document. 2.86 into 10 to power minus 5 Kelvin per watt. RT1 equal to 0.286 Kelvin per watt. RTA is equal to 0.03 Kelvin per watt. RTB 0.033 Kelvin per watt. RTC 0.038 Kelvin per watt. RT2 equivalent as 0.0111 Kelvin per watt. RTD1 equal to 1.786 into 10 to power minus 3 Kelvin per watt. RTD2 is equal to 3.57 into 10 to power minus 3 Kelvin per watt. RT4 1.43 into 10 to power minus 4 Kelvin per watt. And finally R2 infinity RT infinity OS 7.14 into 10 to power minus 5 Kelvin per watt. We have also calculated heat transfer rate 196.09 watt, even as 599.94 degrees Celsius, T2 as 49.08 degrees Celsius, T3 as 27.7 degrees Celsius, T4 as 25.40 degrees Celsius, and finally T5 as 25.14 degrees Celsius. Apart from this, we have also calculated total thermal resistance, which comes out 0.2985 Kelvin per watt. These are the calculations we could do successfully.